I wanted to make a cute little thing, so here's that thing. Hope you enjoy. Virgil comes across Roman's realm. He looks around before quietly going in. He sees an entrance to a witch's den. His face lights up at the thought of witches. He would never admit it out loud, but he loved the whole witch's magic era of time. Once he entered the witch's den, a broom that seemed to be levitating appeared in front of him. He hesitated, but got on it knowing if he needed to get out quickly, the broom may be his best option. The minute he got on it, the broom went higher as the top of the broom was tilted upwards. He quickly pointed it in a straight line so that he wasn't too high, but his feet weren't touching the ground. He started moving forward, but the farther he went, the colder the air seemed to become. In a matter of seconds, he found himself in a completely different area. The ground was now covered in snow, with a light fall of snow coming down. He didn't know how, since it was still a cave, but he brushed off the details. He realized he did admire the feeling of a cold breeze against his face. He suddenly went faster as he felt the cold air sweeping him into a state of calmness. He only realized after a while that there was heavy steps from somewhere else. He suddenly stopped. It wasn't like anything he'd ever heard. He looked around cautiously, wondering if this was even a good idea. He decided he should head back, but just as he was turning around, something grabbed the hoodie of his sweater. His inability to see what grabbed him led him to scream for help, only to be cut off by the loud roar that could have possibly made him deaf. He turned his head as much as he could to see that he was grabbed by the Dragon Witch. The pure happiness that he had before was no longer there, as all he could feel was a heavy sense of panic and anxiety. The Dragon Witch begins to bring him to a deeper and darker place of the cave. He didn't know what the Dragon Witch wanted from him, but he was thinking of the worst possible scenario. Death. He didn't know if he could even die. It was a possibility he didn't even want to know the answer of. He honestly hoped his scream was loud enough for one of the sides to hear to come help him. The dragon had dropped Virgil into a seemingly small cage fit for someone his size. He only thought of one thing. Roman. Was this a security system in case anyone came in here? There was no way a dragon would be able to craft such a thing with its large claws. Virgil swore it had been an hour before he heard some other footsteps, light enough that it wasn't the dragon witches. He tried looking past the dragon and he saw none other than Princey himself. He knew he was surely going to get yelled at by the prince for going into his realm without permission, but when the dragon witch let him past, he immediately unlocked the cage door and dragged me out as soon as possible. He looked worried as he checked to see if I was badly injured. I hadn't noticed from the adrenaline running through me, but my back was bleeding from the sharpness of the dragon witch's sharp claws. He sat me down and took off my sweater and shirt by force and began to bandage it. Once he finished, he turned to me with worry still all over his face. "What were you thinking?" I could only reply with what I knew was the real reason. "I just wanted to see what your realm looked like, and I knew if I'd asked you, you would need a reason." He sighed and let his shoulders become less tense. "Just ask me next time so you don't get hurt. The dragon witch is very territorial and needs some warning before anyone comes." I nodded and realized Roman wasn't actually going to yell at me for going into his realm without knowing. He was concerned. Was it fun, at least? I gave a small smirk. I put my shirt and sweater on before saying, "I guess you'll never know," before sinking out and going to my room.